evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for this improv of a Philosopher King episode here. Obviously, you know tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST, is when the actual Philosopher King episode will be. This is going to be uploaded to Substack in the form of a post where you can comment and track with us of what's going on. But I want to introduce to you, of course, you guys all know, uh, Jen, aka Blue Montauk. Welcome.
Hello. How are
So
you?
it's good. I'm good. And thank you for popping in. I know kind of relatively short notice as well. We had a wonderful podcast. If you guys haven't seen it, check out last week's Philosopher King episode when Jen and a young man named Hiram came and we all talked about the benefits of fasting. Well, it was so inspiring for us even that we decided that we would undertake a water fast and invite y'all to join us. So it officially starts tomorrow. I've logged my weight to start.
And I've thrown away my scale a couple of years ago because she was bipolar and we had to part ways. It was a sad day.
So I was surprised to have found that in the last probably 2 or 3 months at least, I think, I've gone from 230 to 238 pounds. So not excited about that, but it's a perfect time to fast for health then.
Exactly.
So we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into tonight, just kind of it's gonna be a shorter episode, 20-30 minutes. We're gonna talk a little bit about the essential points of how to do a fast in a healthy way, what to be watching for, what is going to be healthy. It's not medical advice. Consult your physician if you have any medical issues or any concerns.
We're
Um,
grown up, you know. I'm just kidding.
right. Um, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to talk. We won't talk about breaking the fast yet because it's not relevant to us. Actually, no, we will. We will have a little segment on that because, you know, you should never go longer than you're comfortable, right? So at some point, I think we have a target plan in our heads of how long to go, like maybe 5 days ish. That's when the real benefits kind of start to play out in days 4 and 5. That's when all the at the stem cell level the benefits really start to accelerate. Um, but then beyond that, it's just more of the same, more or less, right? So um, it's to the 3 day mark is really where all the human growth hormone spikes and everything, and we can get into that in a minute. I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but anyway, so we're going to touch a little bit on um, what best practices are for a fast, but then y'all can comment too. I'm going to have it pinned up on the Philosopher King page on the phone booth podcast.substack.com. So y'all can comment. I'm going to put where I'm going to report my experience daily. Jen is going to do similar, at least to some extent. I don't want to oblige you, Jen, to post every day, but whatever you feel is appropriate. And y'all are welcome to as well. Just be like, hey, today, I felt I didn't feel hungry at all, or today I just felt hunger for a moment. Like whatever your experience is, like we can all just kind of share in this journey of bettering our health. But that's not all it is it, Jen? There's like a deeper
No,
element to fasting.
no, that's not all it is. I mean, it is for the betterment of our health, but it's also the ultimate way to heal the body. It's actually the best way to heal the body. There's really nothing you could do better than this than to heal the body. And that's because, like you touched on, with the growth hormone, but it what is known as autophagy. We talked about
Mm-hmm.
this last time, but we'll explain it again. So autophagy is two words. It's Latin derived. It's auto and phagy, which means to eat oneself, like from the inside. And so once you hit that stage of autophagy, your own stem cells um, basically start regrowing and recreating in your body. And that happens generally after the 72-hour mark. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so wonderful. Um, I was sharing with Jen before we started, probably about 4 years ago, I had a heart attack scare. My dad, about that same age, had a massive heart attack, needed double, maybe triple bypass. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm sure he remembers. Um, but leading up to it, I remember sitting in the living room with him, and he had this ache right under his deltoid, like where the deltoid muscle hits the arm right there, kind of like that tender part on your arm. Well, it was like really aching him, and he was like, "I haven't even worked out though. Like I didn't, I don't know why this ache." And I was like, "Dad, do you feel any pressure in your chest or anything?" And he's like, "I mean, I'm always kind of short of breath." So I was like,
Mm.
maybe you should go get that checked out because I'm sure that those two things together are like a pre-heart attack sign. And he was like, "Well, nah, I'm sure I'm fine. I mean, because I think when we don't have an experience of a serious health issue like that, especially as younger people,
Mhm.
younger men tend to be like, "Oh, I'll just walk it off anyways, right?"
Yeah, right.
So, um, sure enough, within a week or two, he was walking down the train platform on his way to work in the morning and just collapsed. And the doctor said that if 9 out of 10 people who have that size of a heart attack die on the spot. So he's very blessed.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Fast forward a number of years, and I was having very similar symptoms. And I called my doctor immediately, a homeopathic doctor, obviously,
Obviously.
and someone at least who I knew could talk to me about what I was experiencing, confirm or deny. And he's like, "Well, here's the thing. Other than being a great podcast at 6 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday evenings, just before
Yeah.
this podcast actually was Snoop's podcast. Here's the thing. Um, but
Okay.
other than that, marketing genius, I tell you that, man.
That is genius.
um,
I'll give him that.
yeah. But so anyways, so he was like, "Okay, well, if it doesn't get better by tomorrow, here's some things you can try. If it doesn't get better by tomorrow, you need to check yourself into the emergency room and get some." Yeah. But what I ended up doing was taking a little bit of cayenne pepper,
Mhm.
about a half a teaspoon, and put it in warm water and shot it. And within 5 minutes, not even, the aching in my arm was gone and the pressure in my chest felt less.
Really?
And then so I did that like twice a day
Mhm.
until, just to kind of stabilize and clean things up. And then over time, I do it occasionally for maintenance, but
Mhm.
I've never had any other symptoms like that since.
I'm happy
And
you're expressing this because a dear friend of mine is having some heart issues, and I'm sure a lot of people listening would appreciate that advice too. So that's great.
well, and it works for a stroke too. It'll stop. It's the only thing that I think, it's the only thing I know of, which isn't saying a whole lot, I guess. But even some of the naturopathic doctors that I've spoken to have said it's the only thing that they know of that will stop a heart attack or a stroke in process. Literally in the middle of it, it'll stop it.
Wow.
So I know someone who carries a little vial of
Mm.
cayenne pepper, so that if anyone around them is having a heart attack, they can put a little pinch of it under their tongue, and it's almost immediate. So
That's great. I
fascinating.
think I've
Yeah.
never heard this before. That's great. Good to know.
Yeah, so I started really taking my health into my hands more and studying more about the body and about healthy diet, and because I didn't really pay much attention, I didn't need to, I bounced back from everything as a young guy.
Right.
So I want to show everybody this chart to give you guys an imaginary understanding of what goes on in the body over an extended fast. Because OMAD, everyone, whether intentionally or by accident, we've all been through the one meal a day, OMAD, as they call it, right? So, like, where you only
Yeah,
have a
intermittent
small,
fasting. Yeah.
mm-hmm, intermittent fasting, exactly. So, you have like a fasting window. It could be 6 hours or 4 hours or 8 hours. It kind of just depends on your temperament and what your goals are. But when you get into extended fast, 2 or 3 days, like 48 to 72 hours or so, and beyond, the benefits start to change. And that's when autophagy really accelerates, like you were saying. So
Mhm.
I'm going to show this image for everybody here. Um, so you can check this out. Blood and glucose level, that's the blue. So this is why it's really important when you're fasting. I don't recommend coffee. You won't need it. But if you do need it, drink it black, because any coffee or cream or dairy of any kind will cut it will re-trigger the production of insulin, which will undercut all of these benefits that we're going to go through here in a second.
Mhm.
But you can see this blue line moving from the upper left down. I think I can click, you can see my mouse there a little bit, I guess. um, Down as the glucose level continues to drop and the insulin levels continue to drop, right? um, Pretty quickly into the fast, you can see that autophagy, the red line here, starts to climb and it reaches its peak on the third day. Autophagy, as Jen was explaining, is that part. Um, it's when your body goes through all of the tired or old or broken or damaged cells and recycles the material. It breaks them down and then uses those proteins and everything else to rebuild healthy, new, young cells. So, really beautiful process that the body has of just kind of
Mhm.
cleaning out the waste and healing.
And I
So,
wanted to
when you
mention too
do,
about coffee. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'll forget if you don't let me say it. Because I was a major coffee addict, like almost my entire life, which was really hard. That was the hardest thing for me about even going on a fast. But so if you, I want to say first of all, if you do, yeah, don't take anything else in other than distilled water. That should be your goal here. Maybe other than some Celtic salt or something, but
Hmm.
that's about it. And the Celtic salt will help you actually get thirstier. So if you're having trouble taking in the water, definitely invest in that. I like Baja Gold sea salt, and I know I'm digressing right now, but don't take in coffee. The way that I did it is if you need to get off your coffee, there are caffeine replacement pills, there are caffeine mints, there you name it. You just Google it. I mean, there's just a plethora of ways that you can still get a little bit of caffeine at the beginning, but you really don't want to be ingesting anything because the whole purpose of this whole autophagy process is that your all your organs have to be completely at rest in order for that process to happen. So if they're not resting, if they're digesting or processing anything, even including like supplements, stuff like that,
Mm.
it's going to be harder for you to reach that goal of autophagy.
Exactly, exactly. And just so there, it's interesting. 2 points. And by the way, Jen, interrupt me, interject. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
um,
Thank you.
but so with regard to, there's different schools of thought when it comes to the water that you drink. Some do only distilled, totally good, totally great. I personally have found that my body does better when I have fasting salts. I showed this the other night, but here it is again. It's actually called carnivore fasting salts, but you need to make sure it has to be a fasting salt because you need to have zero sugar. So it's not enough to have like an electrolyte, which this is, but you need to have a one that's made for fasting where there's zero sugars to trigger any insulin at all, right? I love that you mentioned Baja Gold Salt. You remember Gary Breck I told you about? He's like my favorite biohacker.
Mm-hmm.
He has done like in-depth analyses and chemical analyses of all the different salts, and Baja Gold
Yes.
is his number one.
Yep, same.
Celtic.
I did went that down that rabbit
Mm-hmm.
hole because I was like, I can't take Himalayan anymore because I convinced myself it was dead people, and I was like, as a vegan, as a vegetarian, I'm like, I what? I saw that and I just like, I'm crazy. I gotta have new salt, and so I landed at Celtic because it has all the different minerals in it, et cetera, et cetera. But I've never seen fasting salts before, so I'll look into that too.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. And then Celtic salt is second best to Baja Gold. And then Himalayan salts, I used to actually do Himalayan all the time because in my ignorance, I thought it was the best. I've stopped because there's a higher level of trace metals found in Himalayan salt than the other two that we mentioned. So Celtic salt or Baja Gold.
I think Baja is a Celtic, which is what I kind of mentioned. I said that's kind of the brand I do, but you know what? It tastes so good. Have you ever
So
tried it?
good. So
You've tried
good.
it, right?
Oh,
It's
I
so
use that for
good.
my food. That's the only thing, that's the only
Oh
salt I use
yes,
for anything.
so that's all I've consumed today is my distilled water and like a couple like I toss like Baja salt in my mouth like every few hours and I'm like, this is delicious.
So don't be offended, everybody. Jen and her zeal has already started.
Well, I don't know if I'll eat tonight. Okay, so I'll tell everybody. I already told before. So I actually fell over the weekend and I hurt my shoulder and my neck. So I ended up doing nothing on Sunday but lying in bed and I just didn't plan to fast. But I was like, yeah, I'm not getting up and getting anything. So anything other than water. And when I'm ever sick or hurt or anything, my body just because I've been fasting for decades, it's just my body just does it. It just like leave me alone. So I did like I that's all I consumed Sunday, and then again today and Monday last night I consumed like half a bowl of beans, and that was about it. So I've got a little bit of a head start. But we'll see. So and nothing today, but salt.
So the only thing I ate today was about a pound and a quarter ish, give or take, of ribeye steak. That was it.
Okay.
So that's all I've had today. Um, Yesterday I had my last glass of wine. I always like wine with my steak, so today was a little bit of a penance for me not to have wine with my steak, if I'm being
Rough
honest.
times, man.
I know, yeah, yeah, first world problems.
Well, I know, right? Getting
um,
rid of the vices. That's, like I said, the
right.
hardest. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the really beautiful benefits of fasting is that
Yeah.
it fosters that discipline
Hmm.
and everything. But yes, so the salts you can obviously do just water. In my experience, whenever I feel a little pang of hunger, I take a sip of my mineral water and done. No more hunger. It's
Interesting.
amazing. So I like never I mean like I've done 5 to 7 day water only fast and maybe day two, maybe a little bit less on day three. There was like a brief moment of hunger pang, but that was it.
Right.
Other than that, I just my
Yeah.
body temperature drops and yeah.
I think day 2.5 is just generally like the hardest for most people that I've ever spoken to. And
Hmm.
when I first started fasting, I would totally agree with that. Like day 2.5 and day three are like, they're really hard. And that's why if you stick through the hardest part, it's like, push the baby out, man. Just like, like stay with it because all the benefits of just remaining on the fast are incredible. And yeah, if you go 2 days, that's great. If you can push it longer and you're not hungry yet, keep going. Stay on
Yeah,
it as
well,
long until your body is hungry again. That's how long you should stay on the fast.
and we'll get back to this chart in a second,
Hmm.
but there's a really beautiful effect in your body in days 4 and 5 that I'm actually very interested since you have shared, that you hurt yourself.
Hmm.
Um, that Because when I shared this on Wednesday, but I'll share it briefly here again. I
Hmm.
actually pulled a hamstring in the gym about a year and a half ago, and I did a 5 day fast because I knew that day 4 and 5 really helps the stem cell production in your body and helps heal. And so what happened is I felt like at the tear of the muscle, I felt this warmth and itching, almost like a tingling and an itching beneath
Hmm.
at the muscle tissue itself. So I couldn't scratch the itch, but it wasn't even like really an annoying itch. It was just
Hmm.
like could feel things happening. I don't know, but I
Hmm.
was back in the gym so quickly that my trainer at the time was blown away. He couldn't believe how fast I recovered.
It is
Um,
amazing how I almost compare it to like, I don't know if you've ever taken arnica, like internal arnica.
mhm.
Well, arnica can be taken internally, and I have taken internally, and it does really wonders for healing the body. But it has a similar effect of that, of just like, and yeah, I do feel it too when my body is starting to repair, like actual physically repair. Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of people
So,
don't know that fasting is not just for like weight loss and health and detoxing and
mhm.
everything, but it can actually help you heal your actual physical body, which is mind
Yeah,
blowing.
it's so
Mhm.
true. Yeah. And here's why. I'm going to pull up this chart again. So if
Okay.
you look now so the yellow is the ketones, okay? So weight loss and ketones. So that's you can see the inverse relationship between the blue line here coming down and the ketones going up. So as there's less and less insulin and blood glucose, the ketones in your body. So that's why they call it the ketogenic diet is if you don't have any carbs, any sugars, then your body will stay in a state of ketosis, which is fat burning. So it's wonderful. Um, I
I
didn't
don't know if
think I'd be
people have
this
questions.
excited. What's
Sorry
that?
to interrupt you, but I can't see I can't see anybody, so I don't know if there's questions. But if there are, like, I don't know.
Oh,
I
sure.
tried to
Yeah.
pull it from my.
Just Infinite says hello, Jen and Jonah. Hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello.
Yeah, but please, folks, drop in the chat if there's anything, if you have any questions. Um, so you want the ketones to continue to grow over time. Now, check out this red line here. This red line is the autophagy, which we've already mentioned, and human growth hormone, which helps restore. It helps bring vitality to all of your organs and muscles and strengthening all of that. It's really great, right?
Yeah.
Um, so what you Now, the temptation is just an interjection about human growth hormone. The
Hmm.
temptation is when you know this is to like go get exercise or something like that. But you don't want, if you do, you want it to be anaerobic. You don't want your heart rate picking up too much. Go for a leisure walk, something to get your blood flowing and blood moving, but you don't want to elevate the heart rate by lifting weights or jogging or anything like that because it's
Yep.
it's it's
I'll
It's
say that too because Hiram, who was here the other day, he was said he was like how many days he was in his fast? I think 3 days, and he said he has so much energy, and me too. Like the last like at least day or two, I've just been like I've had like way too much energy, way more than I normally have, and that will happen. But yeah, just from experience, I know better than to overdo myself because I will get very faint. My head will just start to spin, and then I've fallen sometimes because I've just pushed myself during those moments thinking, oh, I'm going to get everything done right now because I just feel so amazing. And then I'm like, whoo, that was too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing I would say, the, for me, anyways, because I know everyone's different, and it is very different for men and women fasting. The effects on your body is very different. I almost never feel lightheaded. If I do work out too much or anything, part of that might be the fasting salts. I don't know. But for me, what happens if I do work out or do jog or something like that, it kicks up my appetite, and then the fast becomes very difficult because I'm hungry. I'm ravenously hungry because
Mhm.
my body's like, all right, you want to use me, then fuel me, baby.
Oh yeah, you put those calories out, it wants calories in, right? Like it's like, yep. I mean
Yeah.
that's a natural process with the body. But it also is important that you get vitamin D. So it is important to at least get like a little bit of a walk or however you get your vitamin, whatever. I mean, it's more important during a fast than it is when you're non-fasting. It really helps in every way, and it'll
Hmm.
also help you sleep better. If the more vitamin
That's
D.
true.
Mhm.
The sleep on a fast in general is so good.
It's so good. It's so
Okay, so now going back to the body healing element, if you look at this chart again, this purple and the green line. So the green line here is the intestinal and the most of the internal organs. That's the stem cells that are present there in those portions of your body. And you can see that even after the first day, that kicks up right away and just continues to grow as you get toward the end. But really, the immune reboot and the musculoskeletal stem cells, that's this purple line right here, which is fantastic. And that's what will really repair. Like, that's what started. I could feel it, especially day 4 and 5 when I had that torn hamstring, or pulled hamstring, I should say. Um, that's when I really felt the healing actually happening in my body, which was fantastic. So I highly encourage, if you, especially like, okay, another thing, I did not expect this. I had for probably 10 years, I had a chronic cough from indigestion because the I had the acidity level in my stomach was all out of whack. So I would take HCl, I would take apple cider vinegar. It was a constant battle. And then when I did my first like 5 day long fast, it totally reset, and I didn't have a that. It almost sounded like an asthmatic cough, but it was like I would cough, but it would never produce anything because it was just indigestion, and it just
Isn't it always
reset
amazing how many things you have so many surprising things happen from a fast. And I've shared this before. I'll share it again. Like my first fast was 35 days. I'm born deaf in my left ear, and I heard in that ear the third weekend, and I have heard in that ear for several minutes at a time in fast. I also heard in that ear a few months ago when I did a fast. I did a 7 day fast, and I heard in my ear briefly after the fast. And
Love
Jonah
it.
knows this is like how my whole thing. But this is a huge reason for me fasting too, beyond everything we talked about here. So you will be amazed at how much will improve in your body. And like I said, keep going. So all your senses improve. You know, your sense of smell, taste, hearing,
Hmm.
sight, everything. I mean, you can start to see better. I mean, if you're thinking about doing this long term, saying you'll just there's just so many weird things that will happen, and you'll just be like, wow, I just all of a sudden noticed today that I woke up and my arm's not hurting or whatever.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so my strategy coming into a fast is I typically will go keto diet before for the day 1 day before. So I kind of jump start that ketone production and the fat loss process before I even get into the fast. And then do you want to share with folks a little bit, especially since you've had a longer fast as well? Do you want to
Sure.
share a little bit about how you ease your body out? Because you don't want what's called refeeding, which is where if you start to eat too much, if you start to go right to like
Mhm.
breads and sugars and things like that, it can
Mhm.
have a
Yeah.
negative reaction. You could lose all the progress of a fast. So
It's
the
it's
longer the
really,
fast,
really
the more
important.
important, right?
It's so important, especially the longer you go. But the thing is, so you go until your hunger returns. So that's when you know. But when your hunger returns, especially in a long fast, you're going to be so, so, so hungry. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't just like return gradually. It's like it bangs through the door, and it's like feed me right now. And so you have to be prepared. So I would say if you're, okay, I'm a vegetarian, but like I would say it doesn't matter whether you're a vegetarian or not. Have broth, so bone broth or whatever. I use veggie broth. Have it prepared ahead of time, so I would freeze it, and or not, depending how long you're going to go. But have that on hand, and don't have anything around you that you don't want to eat the whole bag of Ruffles when you come off the fast. So why do you want the whole bag of Ruffles in your presence? Because it's going to happen. And if you're in a situation where you can't avoid that because you live with a family and you're like, well, I don't have a choice, right? Nobody's going to fast with me and my family. Then that's why you need to stock up more on foods coming off food. So okay, I would say, all right, avocados for me are my number one go-to food
Hmm.
when I come off. It's the first thing that I will have ready. And so the longer I go, this kind of makes it hard because I really don't know when it's going to return, but I kind of always have those around. So, but that's a great because it's a high fat food. It's high calorie food. It's the perfect fat, and it will be very filling. So I would start
Hmm.
there. Yeah, obviously avoid any sugar, any shit that you don't want to put any shit in your body. Eat at home. Do not go out to eat. Do
Yeah.
not go out to eat. Yeah.
Well, so just to clarify a little bit too, in case someone is
Mhm.
intimidated by a longer than a couple day fast, when you say the hunger returns and it bangs down the door, you're not
Yeah.
talking about the minor hunger pains that you're going to feel after 2 or 3 days. You're talking about like if you go a week or more, right? Where
Yeah, if
a
you plan to
long
go
period
more
of
than a
time.
week, especially if you plan to go until your hunger returns, I'll put it that way. If you're not
Hmm.
planning your fast, if you're not saying I'm dedicating 3 days, or I'm dedicating 5 days, whatever, you're saying, no, I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Because that's how I do it. So if you plan to do it that way, then just know that when your hunger comes back, it is going to be very angry and very demanding. And so you have to be prepared. If you're at home, like I am a lot most of the time, then I know how to prepare for that. But if you're someone who is not at home, you have to go to work or whatever, then be prepared. Have some nuts in your car, or something. I recommend peanuts because they're high in copper. They're very good for you, and just have those types of food ready to go at your desk so you don't feel the urge. Yeah.
Well, so it's interesting that avocado is your first go to. It's my second.
Hmm.
So if I do 5 or more days, so if you're planning on going this long, be thinking ahead. Um, the first thing I do is a shot of olive oil,
Okay.
and you want to make sure I have a quality oil. You don't want some
Hmm.
garbage, but quality
Yeah.
olive oil, just a shot of it, just to kind of lube the pipe, so to speak, get everything kind
Hmm.
of reactivated with something very, very gentle and healthy, very, very easily metabolizable as a fat source. And that is going to do a lot for just kind of to kind of ease your body back into food consumption. The second thing I do is avocado, with a little salt, obviously, and then
Almost.
obviously, and then after that I do the bone broth,
Mhm.
and then I wait usually about like a half hour between each one, a half hour to an hour between each of those. So I just kind of like very gently walk my body back into feeding, and then I do, and I know this is why you recommend peanuts, is because you don't. I go for just a small steak. So
Mhm.
I'll gently break it through a series of fats and then the bone broth, and then about an hour later I'll have like a reasonable medium sized steak. And that I found just is so nutritious, or eggs is even better, perhaps. Eggs would be an even better thing just because they're like little packets of gold in terms of nutrients, you know?
I think protein is, I think what we're saying is like most important
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
yeah, I don't eat eggs, but yeah, going for the protein, going for the high good fats. Dr. Pradeep, I've posted about him before. He's amazing. He talks about fasting a lot, but he recommends MCT oil. I haven't tried that myself, but I just saw that and I'm going to definitely look into it. So that I don't know, might include some of that. But I would avoid anything like definitely nothing cruciferous. I mean, don't go for the cabbage, don't go for the broccoli or anything like that right away
Hmm.
because um, your body's not in a state that's really ready to kind of process that. Remember, your body's been resting. It's been completely resting. So you have to go really, really gentle. So
Hmm.
don't make it, process too much. Yeah, at one time. It's easy to process avocado or a nuts or whatever, like
Yeah.
you said, eggs and things like
And then
that.
also by keeping it ketotonic, like we're describing, and not going to the breads or anything else, any sugars right away, you're actually also extending the benefits of the fast while you work your way
Hmm.
out of it, because your body still is going to be in ketosis. You're still going to be fat burning. You're still going to be. It's going to start to shut off some of the autophagy and some of the other cellular benefits, but it's still going to be overall really very, very. It's going to continue those benefits of those other kinds. So, anyways, um,
Sure.
and let's see. So,
There's other things you can do while you're fasting too that I would recommend. We briefly didn't re- well, we didn't really get to talk about meditation too much. I mentioned it last time, but meditating for me is really, really helpful. And also listening to frequencies, like I even pulling these up on YouTube or wherever you want, whatever your source is, listening to all the good frequencies. Sometimes I play them together. I'm like, I'll pull up the God frequencies, this and the that, and whatever, and just lay down and just listen to frequencies and focus. Also, one good thing, I once a month I give myself like a 2 hour pedicure, but when I'm fasting, I like make sure that like I'm giving myself good pedicures because soaking your feet in Epsom salt
mm,
is really good for the body. It is a super intense detoxer. So that's what I do is I put the Epsom salt, I put tea tree oil, and then I put just whatever, fragrance makes me happy, you know. But yeah, you just sitting there for like an hour or two and just detox your entire body during your fast, and it just aids in the whole process.
I love it. Yeah, and actually, and also like be patient with yourself. I would say always have a little bit of water handy. I This is my fasting thermos or whatever you could call it, but I take this with me all day, every day, regardless of whether I'm fasting or not. But I'll only fill it maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't drink a ton,
Hmm.
because you don't want to like fill yourself with water either, because you're trying to have that fasting. So I just kind of sip it throughout the day. But I found personally that with as especially as I get into end of day two and then into day three, I found that my body temperature drops. So I
Hmm.
need a sweatshirt, and I like never need a sweatshirt. Um, or and I should say, I need more sleep. So instead of the 6 to 8 hours that I'm used to, I now need 8 to 10 hours. And it's such
And
peaceful, deep
yeah.
sleep. You guys will love it, I promise.
It's amazing. Yeah, if you can incorporate in your life sleeping more and just chilling more and like and doing it like at home, like if you have the option to work from home or whatever. Yeah, I would definitely do it during that time when you don't have outside sources bothering you. And I mentioned this last time, but don't tell people that aren't going to support you in this. Just don't tell them. And if you're invited to a function or something and you're not go, I mean, you're not going to go, I would be careful with telling them that you're fasting because I'm just from experience.
Yeah,
Like, do whatever you want, but there are so many people that are anti-fasting that
it's wild to me.
getting that kind of negative. Well, I mean, and I've been doing this for decades, so they were way negative back then. So I've been dealt with so much toxicity, but I just dealing with that negative energy while you're fasting is not. It's not good. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to have that in your head. You don't want to have other voices telling you that you shouldn't be doing this.
Hmm.
You only want to be listening to the voice inside of you and telling you like keep going. And then
Well,
we'll be on the Substack too. So if you need positive
yeah,
energy, like go there, see
yeah,
how it works.
absolutely. And also just I don't want you guys to get scared. If it, like there's no need to stress about it at all. A little bit of water, the hunger will go away, promise you. especially in the first couple of days. It's not a big deal, but
Hmm.
also like it's very peaceful. You will feel it very peaceful. And a lot of times during my extended fast, like even a couple years ago in Chicago, I was over at at the time fiance's house, and she was taking care of her two college age daughters, and she was making fajitas for them, a fajita recipe that I love, right? And I could smell it. She was cooking it right in front of me, and I could smell it. And she's like, "You sure you don't mind?" I'm like, "No, I didn't feel hungry at all. I had my little thermos of
Hmm.
fasting salts, and I was fine. I didn't have a hunger pain at all. This is like end of day 3, beginning of day 4, or whatever, but didn't
Hmm.
feel it at all. So you'll
Yeah.
surprise yourself how much your body appreciates this repose.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah, it also kind of it. This is the thing that I find most remarkable. People who talk with me when they're going on long-term fast, they tell me that it's amazing how like not everything's about food anymore. I'm like, right? Because so many people have lives that like everything's about food. It's like, all right, let's talk about what we're gonna eat today. And then, okay, now we're done eating. So what are we eating tomorrow? And like, what are we eating for breakfast? And where are we going for dinner? And and it's like when you don't have that as an issue to talk about, it's like then you just can do all the other things and you can focus on all the other things. And it's
yeah,
also
and
cheaper.
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's also you're gonna find that you have so much more time for like meditation or reading because there
Mhm.
isn't the food prep,
Right.
the food consumption, and then the cleanup afterwards.
Mhm.
All that chunks of time that you spend on
Mhm.
those things are now free to do other things.
Yeah. And
So
if you decide you can't do it, or don't want to do it, or whatever, try intermittent fasting with us. If you've never fasted at all, never tried any sort of fasting, try to intermittent fast, which is basically you don't eat all day and then you eat your meal at the end of the day, and that's it. And same thing, repeat the process. It just that's where you can start if you aren't comfortable doing a solid water fast, and then jump on the water fast when you're ready.
yep, I
So
love it.
yeah.
So make sure, folks, that you go and subscribe to phoneboothpodcast.substack.com because that's where the post with this video is going to be pinned at the top of the Philosopher King page. Also, note that if today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday, which is day 1 officially of the fast that we're doing together. And I encourage if you make it, you should most I think who are watching should be absolutely fine with a 4 day, but trust your gut and go with your comfort levels. But we'll all check in addition to kind of posting throughout the week here, throughout the next few days. You guys will get to hear from me and anybody, and Jen, if you wanted to chime in
Mhm.
on Saturday, if you on the stream there, um, you know, sharing a little bit of our experience. You might see a brighter, younger looking Jer. Who knows? So, um,
I might
but
be
yeah,
hearing in
so
my deaf ear. We'll see what happens.
there you go. So yeah, so we'd love to hear your experiences though. Like, oh man, I didn't realize I had a chronic back spasm, like in my back right side. It was just gone, never came back. I back aches in general have gone away with different paths. So like the joint aches, inflammation of, not like arthritic, but like just pain in the knee or any. It's amazing how much good happens to the whole body. So I'm excited to see all y'all's results
Thank you.
and this journey for us. So now we want to keep this intentionally a little shorter than most of the conversations and streams because we just kind of want to touch base, set the groundwork, the goals, get the excitement going, tell you guys what's happening. It'll be pinned on the Philosopher King page on the Substack. Jen and I will be commenting from time to time. Y'all are welcome to comment as well. Any other thoughts or parting wisdom for the folks, Jen, before we wrap it up here?
I would agree with what you said earlier and reiterate that just be patient with yourself, forgive yourself, be open to whatever comes of this. You might have new thoughts, you might have do epiphanies, you might need to sit down more, rest more. You're not going to be able to do as much physically at some points, and just go easy on yourself. Just that, just go easy. Don't have any expectations, okay? And go as long as you want to go. And when you're ready to come off, just again, just go gentle on yourself and stay healthy.
And if historically you've only ever gone one, like most of you fasted is having one meal a day for one day or two, and all you feel like your body's ready for is 24 hours, awesome. That's a win. That's a little step up, you know? And then next time we do this together, maybe you'll go 3 days.
Mhm.
Maybe then you'll go 23 days. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, so be patient with yourself and join us. Leave your comments and tell us how you're doing. We're going to do the same. It's going to be a fun journey. So I love it. Thank you, Jen,
Actually,
for, yes.
I'm sorry, but I just
No,
thought
you're
of
good.
something that I have to.
You're good.
I didn't say last time, and I wanted to. Um, Medications. A lot of people ask me, like, should I stop my medications? No,
No.
do not stop your medications without talking to your doctor. Okay, just do not do that. Don't make that assumption that you can't take any. When I say take anything in your body, that you're going to like stop taking something like that. So just want to throw out that because I
Very
know
good
this.
point.
Okay.
Very good point.
Okay.
Very good point.
All right.
So no, that's actually an excellent point. We're not doctors. This is not medical advice. Just in case you didn't hear me say that earlier. So do be caught. It's not a crazy extreme thing. I think our world sees it as a crazy extreme thing to fast,
Hmm.
but even throughout Scripture, we hear people fasting on next to nothing for 40 days.
Isn't
It's
didn't
not.
Ramadan just start too? I mean,
Yeah,
people do
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Cultures do this. It's not
yeah.
crazy, right? Like,
It's our Western three squares a day mentality that's intimidated by
yeah.
it. But mine sets everything. It's really not that big a deal. Um, yeah. So I love
Yeah.
it.
I
And
really do.
take advantage of the mental clarity which you will feel, which will be lovely, and spend some extra time in meditation, in prayer, spiritual reading, philosophical ponderings with cup of Jonah in the morning, which will be for me, it will be in a cup, but it will just be water. So it'll be cup of Jonah asterisk for the next few days. So okay.
Okay.
Now for real. Last thoughts? Anything else that we're
For
missing?
real, I'm done. I'm a woman. I'm sorry. I had to just get
No,
one more
it's
in there.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
No, I'm really done.
Um So I appreciate all of you guys jumping in here and look forward to seeing your posts underneath ours. Again, I told Ted that I was gonna share with everybody, so I am because I'm a man of my word, as embarrassing as it is sometimes. But I weighed myself right before this. I'm 238, which is the highest I've weighed myself in ever, maybe. 8 months, 8 pounds up from about 3 months ago or so. So that's not the best. But this is great. It's good inspiration for the focus here. So we'll see. I will share with you guys any weight loss, however much or little it may be at the end, even though that's only my secondary goal. The primary is just that whole body healing. So thank you, Jen, for joining me at such short notice for this
Thanks for
little
having me.
fasting journey together. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Pleasure always.
All right.
Ciao, everybody. Watch the Substack and you'll see this up there. And look forward to seeing your comments and your experience. Have a good night.